Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update to the Clayton Echard paternity scandal. A reporter who's covered this story for months now goes off on Clayton's accuser. I'm going to read what she had to say. Plus, a new Medium article came out. The Medium article said, nobody told her perjury was a crime. It's a interesting read. I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but it's going viral on Medium right now. So we'll get into all of this right now. If you want non-Clayton coverage, I got the podcast, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. Every morning and afternoon, I cover Olympics and other entertainment news and pop culture stories. So I understand that this story is more like an ongoing soap opera you might not have any interest in, but there's other content out there, so go check it out. All right. Well, Megan Fox, our good friend of the program, has eviscerated, it appears, Laura Owens, Clayton Echard's accuser, here on Twitter. There has been, I guess, differencing of opinions, which is why we love the internet, right? Differencing of opinions as to if we should interact with Laura Owens or not online. I've made the decision months ago to not interact with her, to just continue to cover the truth and my opinions about all of that. I'm an opinionated channel. I will not be held accountable for what people say or do in comment sections of Discord, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, or else. That's a platform. People can say what they want on those platforms, and if people want to give her podcast a 1-star review, that's not my problem. I'm not doing it. I haven't reviewed her podcast. I haven't written to her with negative things. No, not going to do it. But I'm also not going to tell people what to do. My opinion would be to not engage with her and to not read her content and all of that. That would be my opinion. But again, I'm not going to judge those. So I understand how people have said, we should leave her alone and whatever. But at the same time, Clayton's going to share with us that what he believes will happen if we leave her alone. Here's what he had to say.
And just erase all of these articles, right? But
they're all there.
And again, if she's not held accountable, she will turn this into a TED Talk, because she already told me she was going to do that at one point. And she's going to start speaking about how she got pregnant by the former bachelor. And she's going to turn this whole thing into it. Why her TED Talk is still up baffles me. I'm pretty sure they've been made aware.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you not taking it down?
Yeah.
Take down it. It's a lie. The whole story is based on a lie.
Because people live for this stuff.
Yeah, they do. And while it feels like an old story to us, she's still writing the story. We have to remember, she's still writing the story. I do believe she's still going to try to sue people, if she can, for defamation or emotional distress or whatnot. She may try to sue me for what others have said on my platforms. We know she's in my Patreon, in my Discord. I don't even go on my Discord. I don't have the app. I've been in there before, but I'm busy. And again, I love that there are communities where people can chat back and forth and swap ideas. I love that about the Patreon chat community, but I have to continue to create content and burp the baby and things like that. So I refuse the idea that I'm going to be held accountable for what other people share. I'm just going to be held accountable for my words and opinions, and my opinions are very similar to those of Megan's, which is the fact that we need to cross the T and dot the I here. We need to make sure everybody understands what's going on. Therefore, when she does release a new book or whatever she does multimedia-wise to make it seem like I'm a cyberbully, which she's already showed her hand. She wrote that article, Dave Neal's a cyberbully. I'm not going to let that happen. Megan Fox said this: people who scam others, lie under oath, fabricate evidence to emotionally and financially torture others don't deserve your pity when the internet does what it does. Behavior Laura Owens indulged in for a decade deserves ridicule and scrutiny, and the world should be warned. This is no different than the endless Jussie Smollett memes and jokes when he paid 2 dudes to attack him and blamed MAGA. When he got caught scamming, his behavior led to the world not believing him anymore. He did that, no one else. And again, Jussie Smollett never admitted his wrongs, but some people, I guess, believe him. But I think, I'll put it this way. I think more people are confused, and some believe Jussie Smollett than some believe Laura Owens, because I think there's more evidence that points to Laura Owens being a proven liar and proven perjurer than there is to Jussie Smollett. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of evidence that shows Jussie Smollett faked a hate crime. Megan then continues, so when Laura Owens cries she's being hunted and people are being mean by warning others of her behavior, it should fall on deaf ears. She's destroyed her credibility. Nothing she says can be trusted. Crocodile tears are an insult to her victims who despaired alone for years. The Bible says if you sow the wind, you will reap the whirlwind. Be careful what you put out into the world, because natural law demands you will get it back 10 times. Public ridicule and disapproval is the natural consequence of sowing chaos and dishonesty. Nothing can stop it. Yeah, and again, I'm not here to publicly ridicule anybody, but it is a natural reaction to people being upset that they've been lied to or been made a fool and all of that. Megan continues, everyone hopes that Laura, Amber, and Jussie will one day own up to their lies and seek forgiveness from their victims. Everyone loves a comeback, but it would require admittance, humility, and reparations. Without that, the spiral will continue. And then she shares the proverbs about the universal truth that is common with all major religions, a human reality people know and have known for thousands of years. Laura Owens needs to learn this and grow. And then people said, amen. They responded. Another person made a Medium article, which this Medium article, Medium has been the main platform for Laura to share her side of things. Even though a judge has ruled that Laura is uncreditable and did not provide enough evidence to prove she was ever pregnant, Laura continues to write her story, and folks are continuing to log what she's saying and make notes if the story changes or new evidence comes out or the dog ate my iPhone or whatever story we want to hear today. Nobody told her perjury was a crime. Let the evidence or lack thereof speak for itself. Once again, Laura Owens has taken to Medium to publish yet another article whining about how she's the victim in all of this, how she is being unfairly treated by the legal system for being pregnant and having a miscarriage. Enough is enough. The ruling was a direct response to the utter lack of evidence that Laura was able to provide for her pregnancy and subsequent paternity filing. She was unable to provide the proper information for the court to obtain the evidence that she claimed to have. All Laura needed to provide was one ultrasound and a single doctor that can confirm that they saw and treated her. That's it. How has that become such an obstacle for her? She claimed multiple times to having an ultrasound, the same ultrasound that she admitted to changing the date and location of in her deposition, as well as in her affidavit. And where is the original, the undoctored ultrasound? Nowhere to be found. On June 17, 2024, there was a ruling in the Laura Owens v. Clayton Echard paternity case that has garnered a lot of attention. Unsurprisingly, the ruling came back strong in favor of Clayton, with Judge Julie Mata granting Clayton's petition for non-paternity and awarding attorney's fees to Clayton. The only thing that was against Clayton was Judge Mata did not have the authority to overturn the order of protection that Laura was granted against Clayton. Laura considers this a win by falsely claiming that it was upheld by Judge Mata. So far, this is all fact-based. Let me start off by saying I am not in the JFC cult. I am not Greg, Mike, or Clayton. Those are just Laura Owens and her attorney's attempt to discredit and diminish the credibility of those that have been following the case. They lump everyone who questions their narrative into this group. Don't let them gaslight into thinking that everyone following this case can't see the truth and is just out to destroy Laura. If you are new to this case, let the evidence or lack thereof speak for itself, which is, by the way, everything I tell new lawyers. I say the evidence will speak for itself. We know the new investigator covering this in Maricopa County will agree with that we have that confidence. For the purposes of this article, I will be focusing exclusively on the Owens v. Echard paternity case in Maricopa County, Arizona, as Laura has repeatedly shown herself to be an unreliable narrator in her Medium articles as well as her testimonies under oath throughout the saga. By no means is this a comprehensive summary or timeline of all the events that have taken place with this case and the different timelines that Laura has used to support her narrative. I have chosen to focus on the original ultrasound that Laura has been unable to provide. To the best of my abilities, I will back my statements up with the evidence from the court filings and or hearings obtained from Maricopa County. Court filings available here. The stream of the trial available here. So again, they go into the background. I'm going to glaze through this, although you should check this out. Shares all of the screen grabs, all of the, the lack of evidence, urine pregnancy tests, shows HCG, at what level is the question, the visit to Planned Parenthood that she says in her deposition. So just from grazing this article does a really good job showing the evidence and lack thereof. On August 1st, 2023, Laura filed a paternity petition in Maricopa County, claiming Clayton was the father of her twins. Twins as in two, dos, babies, baby. something that her and her lawyer have seemingly hoped would miraculously be forgotten if they pick their wording right. So yes, there she was. She claimed twins. Now, how could Laura have possibly known that she had to file a paternity case for 2 unborn children when the only medical documentation she has was a positive urine pregnancy test at Banner Health? Later, Laura would say that the only reason that she filed the paternity claim was so the court would order Clayton to take a paternity test. So again, unbelievable levels of evidence easily put together that show she has lied. And again, I share this to say, look, all we need to do is continue to elevate the truth. If people don't want to be a part of that aspect of the case, the aspect that continues to make sure she doesn't release any media that shares the wrong story, that's okay. Everyone did their part. And by doing their part, you weren't part of a cult. You were part of the bandwidth of equity, the bandwidth of showing attention to this case so that lawyers would cover it, so that internet investigators would look into it. And trust me, the internet is full of people with dissenting opinions. If there was any evidence that may have pointed Laura to being pregnant with Clayton's twins, based on evidence that Clayton wasn't credible and that she had, if any of that existed, there would be a sub-segment of people that believed it. What we've seen play out here, and I don't need to make a long video to explain this, but what we've seen play out here is everybody using their big boy and big girl critical thinking skills to think for themselves. And everybody that's not on Laura Owen's payroll, namely her expert and her lawyer, everyone else is now seemingly in a cult because we've came up with the same realization that the earth is round, that the sun sets and then rises the next day. Very obvious stuff, folks. The internet has never been more on the side of truth than they are on this one because there is so much evidence. And the more you look into it, the more obvious it is. Do what you want to do. Share it or don't. I'm not in charge. I just share my opinions here. And that's going to be it for me today. I'll talk to you guys all later.